Barbie is a 2023 film that stars Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling. It's directed by Greta Gerwig, with a screenplay written by Gerwig herself, along with Noah Baumbach, who has done such films as The Squid and the Whale, Greenberg, and most notably, Marriage Story. With these big names and massive talents attached to this movie, my interest for it has been in existence since its announcement. Now that I have actually seen Barbie this past weekend, does it live up to my expectations? Well, to start off, I will say some of my nitpicks that I have with the film. The movie is quite corny and campy at times. This is something that will definitely throw people off on their first time watching, and not everyone will really go along for the ride. I, for one, on the other hand, got used to it rather quickly and realized that this is the tone that the filmmakers were going for. And for this particular movie, it kind of works. And my second nitpick for it is that I would have liked for the film to explore how Barbie Land and the real world can coexist in the same reality. There are a lot of aspects to this film that you just have to suspend your disbelief with and not think about it too much, because if you start questioning things, you're going to be left with more questions. But that really isn't the main focus of the film, so I can see why they didn't really pay too much attention to it or spend a lot of time on it. It's more about the characters of Barbie and Ken. But overall, despite those little nitpicks, I had a lot of fun with this movie. I went to go see it with my mom Friday night, and it was crazy to see just how packed and pink the theater was. Going into it, I did not expect anything Oscar-worthy to come out of it. Despite being done by Oscar-nominated filmmakers, they knew the type of film they wanted to make, and they stuck with their vision. I really admired that, and I also really admired the production design of Barbie Land, and all the costume and wardrobes just screamed that the designers had tons of fun creating those looks. The acting is masterfully campy. Campy is definitely a word I'm going to be using throughout this review, because that's what the overall movie is. That's the whole vibe of it. So if you can't get on board with that, then this movie will most likely not be for you. So the acting is very much masterfully campy, especially with Ryan Gosling as Ken. Both Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling know how to give a comedic yet emotional performance of toys having an existential crisis. Think Toy Story, but with just a lot more contemplating your purpose and existence in life. We follow Barbie as one day she wakes up and starts questioning her existence and realizes that she yearns to have great importance in her life. With Ken, we see how he struggles living in the shadow of Barbie, always being looked over and never receiving the same amount of love and affection that he and the world gives Barbie. That's another thing. The film isn't just giving the characters of Barbie and Ken a cinematic story, it's also highlighting the history of Barbie and the whole rhyme and reason the iconic doll was created in the first place. Not to give anything away in the off chance that you haven't seen the movie yet and are watching my video, thank you, please like, share, and subscribe. But the movie goes to some really unexpected places, and I found myself pleasantly surprised by how it played out. On top of that, there are plenty of Easter eggs and references to Barbie lore, canceled dolls, and even some other Mattel properties. Tell me I wasn't the only one that busted out laughing when Michael Cera's Alan pointed out that someday they will learn how to build walls across rather than up. Then they proceed to show a construction crew of Ken's building a Jenga block tower. I mean, that's just hilarious. What I find most interestingly hilarious about this film is the fact that the real world in the movie felt a bit off. The movie does not spend as much time in the real world as it does in Barbie Land, which flips that trope on its head of taking well-known fictional characters and bringing them into our world, mainly set in New York. That was a great welcome if you ask me, but the fact that Barbie Land seems to make more sense than the real world in this movie is quite hilarious in hindsight. Will Ferrell plays Mattel's CEO in the movie, and his business cohorts act very cartoonish and outlandish despite being from the real world in the movie. After looking back on the movie, this was a very unexpected aspect of the film that I found quite enjoyable in the end. Oh, and there's an unexpected left turn that the plot takes towards the end of this movie. Barbie has to deal with the whole situation that, to me, was pretty unexpected going into the movie. Again, I won't say what it is on the off chance you haven't seen the movie, but if you have seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about in terms of the film's antagonist. And lastly, there was a scene where America Ferrera's character delivers this great monologue which warranted an applause from the women in the crowd that I saw the movie with. That really just helped my overall experience and enjoyment of this movie. All in all, Barbie was a really fun time with some incredible dance numbers and personal unexpected surprises. I do love how this is such a feel-good movie that manages to hold a mirror up to us as not just a society with specific gender roles, but with us as individuals and how we go about finding meaning in our lives and ultimately finding ourselves. Like I said in the beginning, this movie won't be for anyone with its campy vibes and sometimes cringe-worthy effects and one-liners, but Barbie is definitely a one-of-a-kind movie that gets a thumbs up in my book. With all that being said, I have to give Barbie a solid 4 out of 5 Skarsgårds. And if you're keeping score at home, that's a solid 8 out of 10. So that is it for today. What did you think of Barbie? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Let me know down below. And as always, please like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this one. I hope you're all safe and well out there, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.